Okay, our beloveds, we wish to take a different path or route today. And that is discussing how the scientific world and the spiritual world, or universal knowledge as many of you call it, intertwine and overlap. Now, as we have shared through our another many times, there is only one universal truth, and that this naturally means that the scientific data that you collect must produce results that align with universal data. However, when you are looking for the wrong markers out there, then the conclusions that you draw will not be in alignment with universal knowledge or data, because you are pointing the flashlight in the wrong direction. You are not looking for the causation. You are merely looking for what you oftentimes call correlation, right? So, if you take an ibuprofen and it makes your headache go away, it does not actually address the underlying issue, and therefore does not help the human body to heal, but it does cause the headache or the pain or whatever it is to go away. So you would say ibuprofen causes the headache to go away. But no, it is a correlation reaction, if you will. And this is the piece that humanity does not understand yet. What you call causation is still really correlation in most instances, and you therefore have not figured out the key component to healing, and that is energy. Causation, right? Your energetic imprint causes the health issue, the mental, psychological, spiritual, physical, or economical even, right? So we are here to teach you all through our another what causation really looks like, what to look for in the ether, in the ethereum, in the etherical, before you conclude that you know all that there is to know. Be curious about everything. Never believe that you have reached the end process of any issue, because there is always more to learn, because fractals grow within themselves. When you look at the spiral of life, when you look at geometric designs, right, you see that you look within and there is another layer and another layer and another layer. And it is because energy is infinite. So we encourage those of you who are in the scientific field, whether it is hard science or soft science, to continue to look, but with a different perspective. Try to connect the problem with the solution by looking at the energetical components and not only the material expressions of these components. As you all move into this new energy of the Aquarian age, the Gilded Age, the Golden Age, you will see how much that was hidden in the past will now be forced into the forefront of your lives. What has been hidden will now be seen for what it was: abusive, controlling, manipulative, hurtful, divisive, and let us not forget, abrasive. And abrasive things, they scour, they skin, and they irritate you, and they harm you, and they hurt you, right? And they do not allow healing to occur, because the abrasiveness continues, thereby continuing to rub the wound raw. But as we now share with the energetic world how it looks and how it feels and how it's seen and how it's expressed, you will begin to see how the energetic world, at the core of it, is the primary placement for the issue. However, they're also chemical, emotional, material, but that's not the right word, elemental reasons for health issues as well. If you have toxins in your body brought in by your way of life, through the air, through the ground, through the medications, through the vaccines, through all these different areas, there are toxins that are accumulating within your world, and those too create health issues. But if your emotional state is stronger, your health issues will be simpler. If your emotional issues are more complex, then your health issues will be more complex. So see health as a multi-pronged process. And if you begin to eat better, as we have said many times, for most of you, a plant-based diet would clean the filter out to allow you to notice what feels good and what doesn't. You have been so desensitized with all these toxins and neurologically invasive products within your bodies that you're kind of numbed down. But if you were to eat a plant-based way of eating for 3 to 6 months, your filter would get cleaned out substantially, and you will begin to notice and feel things again. And then as you implement or bring back certain foods or items, you would notice how they overstimulate you, how they make you not feel great, how they deplete your energy. You would notice that caffeine is an overarching stimulant that many of you depend upon and rely upon because your adrenals are so shot by the middle stage or age of life because you have not replenished your batteries. It is your process of work over everything because that is what generates the income, but you don't create a balance within your life of happiness, harmony, relief, relaxation, trusting that the universe has a purpose in all that it does because you're trying so hard to override and overcome any limited beliefs you have of not being good enough by just working harder and enslaving yourself to a job and a process that you don't even enjoy. So this is where you all find yourselves right now within a massive pandemic where it is being forced upon you, this slower way of living, this different experience, a new thought, a new journey, a new experience. So it is your karmic reaction to a lifetime of grief and stress where you don't honor self. And this is how it expresses itself through a collective pandemic where you are all ill or sick at the same time. But so we ask you, where is the energetic mismatch? And then also, where is the physical, spiritual, psychological, emotional, and economical mismatch, right? It's all part of the same process because it is all energy at the end of the day. You just don't measure it as energy. You measure it as a scientific data point. But you haven't connected those etherical connections yet. And they're there. So we are asking our another to merge or blend the energy world with the scientific world and to see how it produces new results and what these new results are. What is it that it teaches her that she can then in turn teach humanity? It is a fun process when you see yourself as a living experiment to measure what others are unwilling or incapable of seeing or experiencing. When you offer your human body up as a living test tube, then it produces different results because you are very curious and you put in different inputs and measure the outputs to see how and why something works and how it produces a ripple effect in other areas of your lives. So we shall leave it there today. She has no idea what it is that we're sharing through her because she has not connected any of these dots herself yet either. And so it is. Namaste.